Welcome back to CNN 10. Hope your Monday's going well so far. My name is Carl Azus, and for the second time within a year, the show has gone on. The Winter Olympics officially began as scheduled last Friday, less than 6 months after the Summer Games ended. Of course, those had been delayed a year by COVID-19. The 2022 winter events kicked off on time, but there have been some bumps in the road, coronavirus being one of them. Several hundred people participating in the games have tested positive for the disease, and dozens of those people are athletes. Because China, the host country, has very strict rules concerning COVID, some of these athletes have missed out on their events, while others are hunkered down in isolation, hoping to test free of the virus before their competitions kick off. Regardless of their COVID status, none of the participants in these games are allowed to go sightseeing or shopping in public. China's closed-loop system keeps them separate from the rest of Beijing as they train, compete, or hang out in the Olympic Village. There have been concerns about free speech in these Olympics. China is a communist nation whose government controls its media, and that government has warned athletes that any speech that goes against the Olympic spirit or against Chinese laws would be, quote, subject to certain punishment. We don't know what that might be. For years, China's been accused of mistreating activists, spiritual, and religious groups, though its government has repeatedly denied doing that. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi recently warned athletes not to speak out about human rights issues in China.
You're there to compete. Do not risk incurring the anger of the Chinese government because they are ruthless.
But the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations says the Biden administration would stand with athletes in China and be there to protect them. The American government is diplomatically boycotting these games, meaning it hasn't sent political officials there. Britain and Canada have done the same thing. China has asked the U.S. to stop interfering with the Olympics. 10-second trivia. Until 2015, who had been Britain's longest reigning monarch? King Henry VIII, King George V, Queen Elizabeth I, or Queen Victoria? Queen Victoria's record reign of more than 63 years was broken in 2015. That's the year when Britain's Queen Elizabeth II, the royal who broke Victoria's record, had held the title for 63 years, 217 days, and of course, she's reigned far beyond that. It was on February 6, 1952, exactly 70 years ago Sunday, that Queen Elizabeth ascended to the throne, and that was after the death of her father, King George VI. The new queen was 25 years old at that time, and now she serves as the longest reigning monarch of any nation on earth. Officially, Britain's government is a parliamentary constitutional monarchy. The role of the royal leader is mostly ceremonial, with the lawmaking and governing power vested in Parliament. But the position of monarch, especially under Queen Elizabeth, is immensely popular in Britain and abroad.
During her reign, Queen Elizabeth has celebrated 3 landmark jubilees. Silver in 1977, golden in 2002, and her diamond jubilee in 2012. This year, having already surpassed the record-breaking reign of Queen Victoria, Elizabeth becomes the first British monarch to mark a Platinum Jubilee. That's an unprecedented 7 decades of service. During her historic reign, she's appointed 14 prime ministers and met 12 US presidents.
I have been privileged to witness some of that history.
She's been a beacon of continuity through an unprecedented period of change, not least the media revolution. Her greatest achievement, perhaps, has been her ability to remain relevant and popular. Approaching her 96th birthday, for almost everyone living, she is the only British monarch they've ever known. With no plans to retire, a series of celebrations will take place throughout the year, culminating in a 4-day public holiday weekend in June, when the public can join the Jubilee-themed festivities. Expect blockbuster pomp and pageantry, street parties and parades. A concert with some of the world's biggest stars slated to attend.
There's going to be some surprises up their sleeve. Really, the palace are aware just as much as everybody, as this has been a long time coming. No one's really been able to party for quite a long time, so hopefully this is going to be a big party. COVID will be behind us and people can celebrate outdoors and indoors in the way they like.
After one of the most tumultuous years in modern royal history, the Queen will be hoping to put the focus back on the future of the monarchy. The family have been engulfed by a series of rifts and scandals, but the institution still appears to project strength through its unwavering and revered figurehead.
Significantly, we do have to remember that when she came to the throne in 1952, it was really not a very enlightened time in terms of working women. A lot of people thought that a woman wasn't up to the job, despite the fact that Queen Victoria and all the queens before had been great queens on the throne. And she proved them all wrong and really has proved over and over again that a woman can do the job of a constitutional monarch just as well as, if not better than, a man.
For the first time this year, Elizabeth will be without Prince Philip at a major royal celebration. The man who was by her side personally and professionally throughout her reign. Prince Charles will step in to play a major role, as will Camilla, William and Kate. They are the future and will be front and centre alongside the Queen. Perhaps we'll also be looking ahead to the next Jubilee, when the Queen surpasses France's Louis XIV to become the longest serving reigning monarch in world history. Max Foster, CNN.
Next, what's been compared to a sort of lighthouse in deep space. Scientists don't know what it is exactly. There are a lot of mysteries in the universe, but they know what it does. Some sort of object out there is beaming out radiation 3 times per hour. It was first detected 4 years ago by a powerful telescope in the remote outback of Western Australia. Researchers noticed a space object was appearing and then disappearing over the hours they looked at it, and it was the first time they'd identified something cosmic that did this. A study was recently published about this in the journal Nature. One of many questions scientists have is whether this is a rare event or if there are other objects in the universe that sporadically send out radiation but just haven't been noticed before.
When a massive star explodes, it leaves behind a dense, spinning core made entirely of neutrons. Many neutron stars have strong magnetic fields, and as they spin, they produce radio emission. We call this a pulsar. Future, we're hoping to find more and follow them up with powerful telescopes, which could be the key to unlocking this new cosmic mystery.
For 10 out of 10, when capturing parrots with a camera, you wouldn't expect the parrot to capture the camera. But that's exactly what happened to a family in New Zealand. The bird took some amazing footage, unintentionally of course, before it finally landed and released its prize. The owners of the GoPro said they followed the sounds of squawking until, at last,
I found it!
It's like looking through a bird's eye viewfinder. Of course, pirates had parrots, so you can't trust a parrot not to parrot a pirate's piracy. And if you leave it sitting to the side, a sitting citizen might see it as a sign to stop sitting and take flight with the camera rolling, even if it's a mac-awful idea that goes caca too far and leaves things completely squawkward. I'm Carl Azus. It's great to see Charleston Collegiate School watching today from Johns Island, South Carolina. That's a wrap for CNN.